Hey y'all, thank you so much for stopping by. So I'm here to do a flip through of this journal. She is a chunk. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh goodness. So sometimes I don't do a prototype and I just dive in a project and then it turns into this. So maybe I need to do a little prototype from now on if I want to take on a collection, you know, this big. This is as far as I've gotten. I've gotten these other covers done, but I have not done the inside of the covers yet or put them together. If you follow me over on Instagram, you've seen the process pretty much. And it's actually been a few weeks because I'm working on these and other projects at the same time. I didn't really give myself a deadline, you know, I just thought sometime in the month of February. Anyways, so these are the other covers. This one has sold. I went ahead and did it because someone had asked at the very beginning, could they reserve this one? And I was like, sure. And of course, since they reserved it, you know, I got on top of it. But yeah, so I just wanted to share this with y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and just measure it because this journal it's pretty big. So it's 7 inches this way. If you count just the front part, it's 6. But it's 9 inches tall. And then I guess to measure the spine. It's crazy. Okay, so 4 inches. And that's if I'm, you know, squishing it some. And obviously it lays very flat and closed. And it is stuffed full of things. So like when she gets it and takes all of these things out to do her own thing in it, it will flatten a good bit. But I love how squishy it is. Yeah. So I'm calling these like a cottage core, granny chic, cottage, I don't know, shabby chic. I saw Paper Terrace do a video earlier and she said that the pastels and the granny chic type things are also called coquette, I think is how you pronounce it. So whatever you want to call it, here it is. Patchwork quilt journal. But my idea for it was, you know, I'd started them at the first of the year and, you know, I was just thought, what do I want the next collection of journals to be? And I thought I wanted something where, I mean, this obviously can be used all year long, but something just cozy, like feels like a quilt, you know? And, yeah, so I'm just going to get on into it because it's probably going to take a minute. So I just patchworked, different fabrics. I had this giant tablecloth that I made the spine out of a couple of them with, or had layered over the fabric to make the spine. And then just pieced together some fun things. This was a piece of a quilt and I just cut a heart out of that. Lynette had sent me some of these little star quilt blocks. I think that's what that's called. And some Happy Mail. And I was actually already in the process of doing these and pulling out my linens and things like that. But I was like, okay, perfect. So that's why there's one of these on most all of them. And then there was the brown one, and I just wasn't sure what to do with it. And that's how this neutral thing went. And honestly, I thought if this sold, it would be the last to sell. And it seems to be the one everyone loved the most. Well, it was a tie between this and the bright colored ones. Anyways, so I'm going to get into the flip through. And I followed, y'all are probably like, yeah, we knew you wouldn't get into this flip through. But I did follow a tutorial by Johanna. She had posted on YouTube. Hers were felt lined on the inside of the patchwork. But I followed that tutorial to learn how to do this soft covered separate spine. So on the inside of this one, I just put this pretty olivey, I guess you'd say olivey green type fabric, and just put some fun things in this bag here, some fabric pieces and blank guest checks and all the fun things, you know, you can play with. I also send a packet of things with the journal that she can play with. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame, y'all. I've got my camera up a little higher because this this journal is massive. I will say it was challenging because most of my baby albums are this size, but I mean, this isn't a baby album, but I have made baby and wedding albums that are this large, and you have to piece together your pages, but it takes a lot more work to do that versus just folding them over, which is my normal, you know, what is it, 6x9 journals that we do. So yes, I did, what's the word, hinge the pages together. So I used several books, avocado dyed papers, coffee dyed papers, needlepoint books. Again, I've shared the process a little while I was working through this that I will be posting. And then over on Instagram, I shared some of the books that I was pulling pages from. This was from a Granny Chic book. Just kidding. No, it wasn't. I keep thinking that page was. I think this was actually from a cottage style magazine, because I remember this being on the other side of that, I think. Let me just show you that book. This book, Better Homes and Gardens Cottage Style. Now, I did have to cut them down some, but that was actually from this book. This was from a paper pad from Hobby Lobby. I thought that was perfect. And again, while these are certain color themes on the outside, or I should say the others will kind of sort of be that theme, but this was neutrals, but I had asked her, are you fine with me putting color on the inside, or did you want the inside all neutral too? But she was like, you just do. She's bought journals from me before, so she was fine with me just doing what I felt like, and I appreciate that so much. I'm fine if, I mean, the point of an order is, well, a custom order rather, is to do what you desire, but I do love having freedom. I can't lie about that. That makes it a little easier, I guess I should say. She also wanted some scripture or prayer type thing, like scriptures or Bible type things in here sporadically, because I mean, I had asked her, was she fine with that? I do make prayer journals. That's probably the most sold thing I make, but I do try to keep some journals, you know, without that in there, and then just send some on the side if you want to use it. But I knew that she wanted them in here, so I just stamped I'm Seen and Loved and put some butterfly stickers. I cut a lot of large images from books and backed them. I believe she's a teacher, so I did put a lot of images with kids. There's a little pocket from this vintage playing card. I did an Instagram reel of this. I need to do a YouTube Shorts, but I was actually going to film a YouTube video making these like a regular video, but I just thought I would make one. I had made them for the Junk Journal January challenge for this day. It was I think, let's see, Fragile and Bright. And so I was making it for that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make these for these journals. So they're just some vintage. Let me show you one that has the see-through. So they're just vintage envelopes. This one was from 1955. I just altered them and turned them into fun little pockets, floating pockets. So this is the one for this journal. And y'all, I already forgot where did I just put that paper clip? I guess it was right here. I was thinking it was over here. This was from a Bob Ross like painting book. And because I knew she would be getting it in the month of February, I thought these colors went so pretty in here. Love this. And I was trying to use up some of these pages from like, it's not a happy planner, but this was a Carpe Diem planner, I guess. I don't know if that's the company, but anyways, I have a bunch of these, so I thought that would be perfect since it was undated. And obviously she can cover it up with whatever. I wanted to bring out all of the old, like just the pieces of doilies and linens, and again, make it just feel super granny chic and cozy. This was from like, I think like a 1970s, just a macrame book. Here's a pocket out of this wallpaper. I love using this needlepoint book to pull from for pages, because the pages are just so, I don't know, they're just kind of subtle. I also like using this book to cut out the images, so maybe you don't have access to printables and you want all the vintage linen printables and things like that. I highly recommend looking for books like these, because they'll have the patterns in here, and you could cut that out. I mean, obviously this is a page, but you could cut these images out and use them in your journals. Like, instead of of course, I meant buy the printables if you can, but if you can't, I love these kind of book pages. This is some Amity Bloom washi. This is just some fun 90s border. I'm assuming it was the 90s. And then I just put a little bag full of, I punched some circles and butterflies from wallpaper and just put some stickers and little flower pages down in here. So raise your hand, a hand emoji, if you or your mom or your best friend's mom have this border in your kitchen at some point. This was a Tim Holtz wallpaper replica, and I was wanting to include a vintage postcard in each journal. I don't think this has the date, but most of that I had bought like a little, I guess you would say a lot of these several years ago now, and they were from the 1800s. I'm pretty sure they all were 18, but anyways, this one doesn't say, but this had the neutral colors, so. Put a little key charm. I love this page right here. I love green. If you watch me, you know green's my favorite color. This was also out of that cottage book. Just altered a Rolodex card and put a little journaling card in here. This was some really fun gift wrap I love those colors together, that peach and green. Some wallpaper border, and just put some prayer cards. Just did a little stenciling. I just backed this with some wallpaper. My goal in these also was, I love the Amity Bloom everyday journals. I love those. I need to just buy the course. Yes, it's course, right? I just need to buy that and do it. But I did watch some flip throughs of people sharing those journals, and I love how eclectic the pages were. Like, when I get to one, I'll show you, but how just kind of mismatchy they all are. And I guess that was kind of my mindset. Well, I had already started the cottage ones, but then I kind of geared in that direction, if that makes sense. So I made a pocket out of this border. This little image is so cute, isn't it? So I just put that in there. And then just stapled a little vellum piece right here, and she can use that as a little tuck spot. In fact, I can put that little tag right there. This is the back of a pattern. I put a card in the center of here, and it already had like a Bible verse and stuff, so I thought that was perfect. And I just covered it with this little printable. I think this is from In Faith Inspirations, Mary Elizabeth. I believe that's who that's from. It may be Raindrop Lila, but I just thought that fit perfectly over that. And then I put some of this beautiful little cottagey looking fabric from Hobby Lobby in there to just make a little flip. I feel like there are actually lots of hidden journaling spots in this journal. Just a little dolly. Here's a Mary Engelbreit image. It says, when you help someone up a hill, you get that much closer to the top yourself. And I just backed the back with some manila cardstock. This little house I just cut out of one of those needlepoint books. Just little altered journaling cards there, or altered floral book pages, I should say. Put this little linen here. And I love this little image and this little poem from a little golden book. And then this page, I just, I put this ruffle here. I just folded this coffee dyed piece of paper here. And I can't remember now if I stitched it down or, so yes. Well, I had glued it down and then I stitched this trim over it. But anyways, it stays down on the page, but you could just put some private journaling there. And again, just hide something up under there. Should stay. And then just put, see how the patterns, like they're cohesive, but they're super mismatchy, if that makes sense. Just cut out some wallpaper pieces and with butterfly, or made some butterflies from wallpaper pieces, and then these little circles and stamped I'm on a joy journey. The I'm seen and loved and I'm on a joy journey, those little stamps, they were from Allie Brown several years ago. And of course we have to have some fun food, right? So I stamped, don't stress about it, just pray. I mean, you know, thinking maybe if she's eating this large of a bowl of ice cream, she may be a little stressed. Here's a little piece of Tim Holtz wallpaper pieces, and then just layered up some of these fun old trims. I wanted to put a little vintage button card in each journal. And here's a piece of this wallpaper. Put a piece of a, like a Better Homes or Betty Crocker cookbook. And then this was from some type of cottagey style type cookbook. So I just stitched that down so she could hide journaling under here. There's a pocket here. A little dolly. I put this on both sides so that it would make a pocket, and then just altered some little, or backed and stitched some little floral cards. More Amity Bloom washi. This little image is just out of one of those little tiny books. You know, they're about this big. I just glued that down there. Thought that little girl was so cute. And I don't know why. This just kind of flowed. This image has been floating around in my stuff for a while. I feel like my friend Gingy sent me this. I'm not sure. So it was probably a printable from somewhere. Or maybe that's an actual image. I don't know. That may be an actual photo. Anyway, I thought she just kind of fit in here. Here's a little butterfly charm. So I also wanted to include like a vintage card in each one. Like a vintage playing card, a vintage greeting card, and a vintage postcard. This was the vintage card. I just covered up the birthday sentiment and stamped on the inside. I love that little cottage right there. In those everyday journals that I'm talking about, you piece a lot of papers together. So that was my intentions behind that. And then that actually was not intended to be a pocket, but it looks like it. I need to glue that down. Here's a page from the Granny Chic book. Just made a little tuck spot out of this. I think this was a vintage sheet. I had thrifted this a few weeks ago. It was cut up into fabric, but it may just be fabric, but it looked like it was from a vintage sheet at one time. I feel like my mom had this sheet. And so to cover up some of the just blank white space and going with the aesthetic or theme rather that I was trying to go for, I did just glue some images down that I thought worked. Once the book was pieced together, as I went through, I would find images, and like this is an example, and I just glued down. I love this image in here. This is from a Victorian flower book. Ideals book page. Little golden book. And I just tied all the centers in bows, and she can either untie them and put buttons or something on the bottom, or she can just, you know, untie them and clip them down. But I just wasn't sure about adding buttons on all of them since there were so many signatures. That's another thing on the other 4 journals. I will probably change it to 5 signatures instead of 6. So that I can just stuff them like this and not feel like it's so full. Because I was trying to do the math on the shipping with this. I'm not sure how to do that if I want to do it priority. I'm not sure, like it weighs a lot. So I don't know if it'd be cheaper just to ship it medium flat rate. I'm going to have to figure this out. There's just some little die cuts. This is actually from a magazine, this image. I think this was from an Amity Bloom printable. Granny Chic book page. And then an Ideals book page. I love this page. Just put, this is the life right here in a little floral image. I also want to say thank you to Carla Frizzell. Like I had to message her. I wasn't sure how to put this. I was having a hard time when I first started these. So she kind of guided me a little bit, and I really appreciate that, Carla, if you're watching. Here's a prayer card here that I just stitched some paper on the back. Another little just altered image from that cottage. Look how pretty is that? That cottage book. This is from a wallpaper border. These little girls are baking some cookies. And I love how this said, "My lady's stationery box. Lovely projects for a lovely lady," and it's just her little I guess it was showing you how to make that box. I feel like that's right up our alley, right? Some little flower cards. It's from An Ideals book page. This is an example of just piecing together some mismatchy things. Oh, and I was putting a vintage seed packet in each one as well, and then I just put some fun little stamped images in here. This is some, my mom actually stitched this. This is from a little piece that had, I think it's called candle wicking. Had some little French knots, I think that's called. I love those pieces, so I thought I would put a piece of that in here. Did a little top tuck there. Stitched down this piece of fabric here. I just made a whole quilted top page here. And y'all, I hope I've been in frame. So I pieced together some things, and then I made a little hidden journaling spot on this. So I put this little clip-on earring here to hold down. This piece keeps kind of flipping up. And obviously she can cut this off and use it somewhere else, or she can keep it and just, you know, put journaling or photos under it. But, so I clipped that there to hold this down. But also, this is just a little hidden journaling spot right here. But it looks like it's, you know, just kind of part of the patchwork. This flips out and hides whatever. And then this page is stitched down. It also flips up and just, you can put some hidden journaling as well as this. This is an Amity Bloom image. And then just made a little tuck spot out of this butterfly. If I had a whole bunch of these printed out, I'm going to try to use a piece or so in each journal, but this really tempted me to just download and print out a whole bunch more of these, because I love the whole just eclectic look inside of these. This was just some scrapbook paper with an image glued down for more hidden journaling. This is a little tuck spot here from a Beatrix Potter book page. Little golden book page. And it ended in the back with this Granny Chic book page and some Maggie Holmes washi there. So, I hope that did not take forever. And I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and I hope you got some inspiration. And I will have everything linked below if you are interested in ordering one of these journals. And I just thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you soon. Bye.